Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today we're going to get into some more comments and questions from the community. We'll read your comments and then we'll answer them as best we can. And I do this regularly, so drop your comments often and leave your IGN so I can send a thank you after we get into it. I haven't looked at any of the comments yet. I don't know what you guys are wondering about, but I love getting into it because it's a good way to address the issues that are on the minds of the community. And you are never the only one that's wondering it. So just drop those comments. Thanks, guys. Hey Dwayne, my AGN is Phaeton. I hope you send me something. A Chaos Legion pack, hopefully. I know those will be worth $500 someday. Luke can move the Gargoyle market on his own. The dude is all in. Here's something that bothers me. Most altcoins pump when Bitcoin pumps. Why does DEC and SPS tank despite the BTC pumps? It puzzles me. So, great question. Market question I've been thinking about a fair bit lately. It seems to me that what you said is not entirely true. I think that altcoins don't usually pump when Bitcoin pumps. They often lag behind. So what will usually happen in a market cycle, and every market is not necessarily the same, but the things I'm going to share with you are true of the last two significant cycles. And there's really only been two really legitimate full crypto cycles, and Bitcoin went from the last one, Bitcoin went from like maybe $3,000 to $20,000, and then this one Bitcoin went from I think 6,000 to 60,000. And in each of those market moves, and there's one major cycle before either of those I just mentioned, but I wasn't here for that. But looking back at the data, you see this. Bitcoin usually goes well before most of the altcoins, and some random few will kind of tag along really quickly, and others will linger without a significant boom. They usually lag until such time that Bitcoin goes into like a proper retracement, which is indicative of like the end of the Bitcoin cycle. And we pop over to, I mean, I'm not a chart analyst, so I can't say that I can deeply unpack, Elliott waves or, the, what are they called? The Fibonacci lines. But there's different ways that analysts will break this stuff down. You'll hear people say, the 4.236 or the 702, or these are different retracement figures that are and measurements from previous movements that will indicate to somebody who's an expert in analyzing TA. It'll indicate to them kind of the sentiment and the direction of the market. But way over here in 2017 was our this is the bull run that I was properly experiencing. And this at the time was a ridiculous height. Like this was crazy. But this now looks like a bump, right? It almost looks flat in comparison to what we've experienced here. And so what is commonly happening is you're going to see, you'd need to compare like a Bitcoin chart right beside, for instance, an XRP chart, or a Bitcoin right beside, Bitcoin Cash. But typically you're going to see this spike. Well, I'll tell you right, look at this. This spike happens January 5th, 2018, and like 2 weeks later or a week later, XRP pumped from like 20 cents to $3.40 or something. And so it's very, very common for Bitcoin to lead and altcoins to follow. And so you kind of said, why aren't they all going at the same time? It's never usually the case they go all at the same time. There'll be some select few that will ride along with BTC at the exact same time. But it's really important to know that imagine what's happening. There's certain people who invest in this market and who love crypto, and they buy Bitcoin, and it's a leader of the marketplace, and they enjoy the benefit, the boom, and the bull market. And then they sell at the top or near the top. And what do? Do they just take their fiat currency and go home? No. They typically then move into some of the major altcoins. And this is why you might see significant altcoins pumps following a major move in Bitcoin. And in this move, and let me zoom in a bit here. Can I go? Yeah. So at this is where Bitcoin was at 19.6. This was the high. But then look what happens. it goes, I don't want the numbers there, a little distracting. So we're up at 19,600, and this was the top at that time. That was in December 2017. And then a few weeks go by and we're losing a few weeks go by and we're losing thousands and thousands. This is practically half price right there. And then look what happens next. On December 22nd, 2017, look what happens next. We've gone down $8,000, or maybe 40% of their 45% of our value. What happens next? Almost a vertical line up from 11,900 to 15,600. And that's in the course of a day. That's from December 22nd to December 23rd. It's a massive, you call that a retracement. That's a retracement. And then there's down, up, down, and then, you know, sideways. But this big V shape is a retracement. And that's often an indicator for, one, the end of the Bitcoin bull run, and two, all the altcoins that haven't gone to now go ham. And this is what I've been waiting on for months, actually, with the market now. When I look at so when I look at the market now, I've been waiting for this to happen forever, and it feels like this market this time seems to be slightly different. I don't know how to unpack that for you. I don't know if I don't know what's exactly going on, and if I did, you know, I guess I'd be even richer. As it stands, I'm just holding still despite this market, you know, obviously being volatile. Bitcoin down 10% again in a 24-hour period. Looks like it's barely holding on to 20,000. I mean, maybe we fall even lower at this point. I've been listening to BCB, and it seems like there's no real clear, like, what's the next step? I don't know, because there seems like there ought to have been a retracement after this, like after one of these big falls. And maybe, like, we fell all the way on January 23rd, we fell all the way down to 35. And I guess maybe this is the retracement. I don't know. But we haven't, usually in a retracement, you see all of the altcoins go, and we haven't yet. So I've been like, XRP has been sitting around 30 cents for, well, it's been falling, but it hasn't seen a massive pump this bull market. The previous all-time high, $3.92, is from the 2017-2018 run. I don't know what to make of that. Same with Litecoin, same with EOS, same with Zcash, same with Neo, same with Dash, same with a ton of other coins. You know, and maybe you might say, well, those coins suck and they're terrible and no one uses them. I mean, I disagree. Each one of them is probably a separate conversation. But even if they are ill-used, poorly developed, and, you know, have a small community, which they don't, none of them fall into those categories. But even if I said okay, fine. Well, I still feel like Dogecoin is you know, like, really, there's nothing special going on there. And yet that had like a massive, I think 40x pump, or maybe it was 100x pump. I can't remember now. I think it went, where's Doge? And so some altcoins that have no significant development and are kind of just a meme go flying, and then others don't. So when you look at this chart, you can see that the previous 2017 bull run looks like a little blip, and then we get this massive thing. And that is what I expect with all major altcoins. Ethereum got it. This looks like a blip, and that you get this mountain over here. Bitcoin got it. A few coins got it. I think Cardano got it. Look at, like, a bit of a blip, and boom. So a few coins got that. But if you look at XRP, look at this. This is the 2017 bull run. It's way bigger. Now, okay, maybe the SEC lawsuit with XRP is holding it down. I don't really think so, but, you know, okay, let's look at another coin. Let's look at ERX. The previous bull run, 2018, 16 cents. This recent, like, last few months, middle of last year, 16 cents. I mean, that's not a new bull run. That's like a double tap. And I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of this. The Tron, okay, maybe Tron is a, you know, again, you might hate Tron. I don't care. None of the fundamentals matter to me. I don't believe and I don't concede that fundamentals are the main driver for what drives asset prices in this space right now. I just reject that thesis. In my opinion, this is all FOMO. This is all fear of missing out and people just rushing into coins that have been around for a while and that haven't yet pumped. And so in my opinion, coins like Litecoin, which Charlie Lee sold all of his LTC, doesn't matter. Coins like TRX, you know, Justin Sun, people don't like them. It doesn't matter. What are the other ones that I was talking about? Bitcoin Cash, it's like a quote unquote fake Bitcoin, doesn't matter. Zcash is a privacy coin and maybe privacy coins are going to be regulated differently. Doesn't matter. Like Dash, same thing. Possibly privacy elements are going to be regulated. Doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's all fundamental conversations around what should last long, what should succeed in the marketplace, what should be, you know, here in 20 years. I'm talking about the FOMO and the eagerness that translate into a bull market for coins. And historically, every major altcoin has pumped after or while Bitcoin was pumping. And now it feels like somehow this is different because Bitcoin pumped and is obviously falling. I don't know what to make of that, but I'm still holding all my coins and I own some of, or maybe even many of the ones on the screen here. And you know, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. I'm not scared, including specifically about your question about DEC and SPS. I mean, DEC did pump and it shouldn't pump really again. It only pumped because it was the SPS airdrop opportunity and that is wrapping up. And there was a unique amount of excitement around Splinterlands last year in a moment when there wasn't enough cards. And so the game was paying out DEC and then people wanted to acquire that DEC from players in order to get those airdrop points. And that was a kind of a perfect storm from DEC price appreciation. So I don't expect DEC to pump commonly. Every so often, I'm sure it'll happen. I don't bet on that. SPS, I do think will pump and it'll be subject to the same pressures I just described. And it's not a fundamental analysis. It's like, it's literally just people get excited, the price is going up, more people get excited, and that is enough because these markets are so small that these things can boom radically. And one more point on this before I move on. People often say that market cap is a determining factor for why, for instance, SPS can't go, you know, it's 5 million market cap at 5 cents. And if I said it was going to be $5, you'd have to add 2 zeros to that, so 500 million, and that would put it, you know, above it'd put it like in the neighborhood of, you know, top 50 coins. The thing about market cap as a benchmark for deciding how high a coin can go is that it doesn't take into consideration that the market cap is just a multiplication of the price by the total supply. And so it's not as if, for instance, when we get Bitcoin to $60,000, that's where it was at reached $65,000, or even today when it's at $20,000. Do you think that there's what, I think 17 or 18 or maybe 19 million Bitcoin in circulating supply? Do you think that 17 or 18 million of them sold today for $20,335? No, right? One sold. A fraction of a Bitcoin sold in the last 2 minutes or second, and that is what the price was. So it isn't the case that the total circulating supply is relevant, deeply relevant from the idea of a market cap, or from the idea of what your price could be for a coin. I really don't think so, because these things can happen so rapidly that, for instance, while a coin is appreciating, it goes. Let's look at Dogecoin. Look at Dogecoin. So from April 9th, where it was at 6 cents in 2021, to May 7th, that's less than a month. less than a month, and it goes to 73 cents from 6 cents. It's like a 10 or 9x or something, or 10 or 11x, I guess. And that can happen moving the. It's important to understand that not at 73 cents, only a fraction of Dogecoin ever sold for that. Maybe it was in the tens of thousands, maybe it was in the thousands. It wasn't in the billions. It wasn't in the millions. And so if you think it was in the tens of thousands at 73 cents, you know, you're really talking about, well, let's get a calculator on the screen here. Calculator. So let's say 50,000 Doge sold for 73 cents. So that's $36,500. That's all it would take in the entire world, 36, call it 40 grand, to pump a coin like Dogecoin or Bitcoin or SPS in a given moment, within say a 1 hour period, to drive that price just spiking wild. Because it's only a fraction of people in the world that are that excited, that are that exuberant, that are that FOMO driven, right? It's not millions and millions of people that bought it at that price. It's probably tens of thousands of people who bought 500 each, or hundreds or thousands of people that bought 100 each or something like that. And in that way, it really isn't ludicrous that SPS would just suddenly spike, not suddenly, but very rapidly once it starts going, that it could get to $2 or something like that. I really believe that. And that's why I just refuse to sell my Doge, or sorry, I don't own a Doge, to sell my SPS. I don't think it's going to, I want to step back and I want to say, I don't think SPS is going to go to $2 or $5 anytime soon. But because I haven't yet given up on this altcoin possibility for the entire market, the altcoin market, the ones that haven't really gone, I'd rather hold my SPS than liquidate it for 5 cents or 6 cents or whatever I could get for it. Even if it goes down to a fraction of a penny, I don't care. I'm just going to be accumulating until we get to a place where it is a $1 or $2 or $5 coin. And I really think that's possible because of what I tried to describe with the market cap and how that's often perceived as, wow, it could never go that high because the market cap would be big. The market cap is just a multiplication of the price paid today versus the total circulating supply. And because it only takes a fraction of the circulating supply to be sold at that price to change the entire market cap, it becomes irrelevant. It's not a deep or problematic hurdle in my mind. So I hope that answers your question. That actually went much longer than I thought it might. How long did that take? You know what? That was an 18-minute response. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to say Team Phoenix Rising, thank you for the comment. And guys, I'm going to stop the video there because that was kind of a 20-minute video talking about how I understand markets and what I'm expecting here for blockchain in the near future and even in the future, the far future. I really believe that I still expect at the altcoins that haven't run to run. And I don't know how to explain that will happen, except for I could give you one theory. I have a theory, and it has to do with the US economy melting down and the government deciding that they can no longer do the the interest rates. As you can see, the Dow Jones is melting down, and this is all a product of them. They rose rates again in the US by another 375 basis points. They continue to point towards the fact that they want to get up to 4% in the US. And that would for sure, in my opinion, that would bankrupt America because they can't pay the interest on the $30 trillion that they owe. That let alone can the American citizens pay the mortgage loans, car loans, credit card debt, all of which is impacted by that Fed funds rate, the rate set by the U.S. Federal Reserve. And so I really believe that the economy is being pushed by the interest rates, and that could mean that the U.S. government rolls over in the coming weeks. I think this will happen. They'll roll over because the markets are going to be tanking. and the Fed will roll over and stop raising rates and in fact lower rates, and then stop QT, which is quantitative tightening, and introduce QE again, which is quantitative easing. If you don't know those are, just look them up on YouTube or something. There's great videos that'll explain that to you. And once QE begins again, it would be to infinity and beyond. That's what people say, and I really believe that. I think we saw America go from $20 trillion in debt during COVID to $30 trillion in debt. And that was almost entirely a product of the government just trying to throw money at the problems. They were shutting down businesses left, right, and center, and they were throwing money around. But that's money that's being printed out of thin air, which causes inflation, which creates all kinds of problems. And I'm convinced that they're going to need to do that again. I believe that is going to happen and that hyperinflation will follow. And because I'm so confident in that being the future of what is coming to America and therefore the broader globe, I'm super bullish on cryptocurrencies that haven't yet pumped to previous all-time highs or higher, and specifically Splinterlands, because it's giving me non-fungible tokens and cryptocurrency for my time and attention. And so I'm going to keep holding, I'm going to keep stacking, I'm going to keep earning and trying to put together as big a portfolio as I can. And I'm going to remain confident until I see such time that, like, for instance, XRP and Dash and Bitcoin Cash and, Zcash and Litecoin go well past their previous all-time highs. And even if that now does feel unlikely, and I would admit it feels unlikely, I'm going to stay firm on that expectation because of the possibility of the market melting down and the Fed being forced to push funny money into the system again. I'm probably, and if at the end of the day I'm misguided in that thesis, first of all, leave a comment below and set me straight, because I'd love to see constructive feedback on that topic. But second of all, if I'm wrong about that, that's okay. I'm willing to wait 4 years for the next bull market and just accumulate and accumulate until I get generational wealth opportunity from this, because I really believe that's possible. And that's why I continue to stack crypto and why I continue to focus on investing my time and attention in Splinterlands. Thank you so much for the comment. And yes, I will send you a little something. And I don't usually send Chaos Legion packs, but this was a video that stands alone. It's a good one. So, oops, not log out. I am going to send him a pack. I'm not going to, this is not what I'm going to be doing every time. And it's not just because he asked. It's a great question, guys. So leave great questions and maybe I will give you Chaos Legion packs from time to time, guys. Okay. Thanks everybody for your time and attention. Have an amazing day. God bless.